Hey Dave, good to be back. We're back at Something Fishy for the 3rd year.
Awesome.
My favorite fish store in the world. So Dave, we've never really done any footage up here in the actual shop. So why don't you walk us around the shop and just show us what you have here actually in the main store for sale.
Okay. My little shop, this is mainly the fish, kind of the fish room side, but obviously dry goods is on one side, and I utilize obviously almost all the space I can with the slat wall up on top, and carry most of the aquarium products that most people need, supplies, maintenance, water treatments, meds, decoration. You'll see some of that on the other side of the showroom with the display tanks. Carry Norfin, New Life, Extreme Foods. We don't carry everything, don't need to carry everything, obviously. Then obviously all the cartridges and filter products, etc., etc. Then we get into the nitty gritty, the fun part, the fish. There's a display tank here with my baby ray, a red sebrum, a bircher, and a ripsaw cat, and a tigris cat.
Very cool.
And then this center rack is mostly community fish, nano fish. There's some shrimp on the other side, tetras, live bears, obviously some plants, etc. Bushy nose plecos and exotic plecos and cory cats, all the good stuff. I expanded this, oh man, going on 2 years. There's been more and more people getting into the smaller tank system setups. So I mean, cichlids has always been my forte, my main thing, breeding and stuff, but I like all fish, so I expanded. You know, there's a demand for it. So all my tanks are individually run. I'll point that out. I don't believe in like central systems. Reason being is something, a parasite, pathogen or virus gets into that system and it's going tank to tank. The likeliness of them getting sick is more apt to happen. So I like my tanks all individually run, and we do water changes by tank. We don't have we're kind of old school here, so, but it works. If something gets sick, it's that tank. We don't have to worry about spreading to a bunch of other tanks. Got another display tank over here. There's a obby puffer. We got a couple for sale. He's hiding down in there. He knows he's getting a worm. He sees the red tongs. He gets excited. And these are filament barbs. It's a male and 3 females. They're beautiful. When they're young, I have some baby ones, small ones for sale. At home, I got some big ones in my like 350-gallon tank. They're huge and they're awesome. They kind of remind me of like a parrotfish, of a marine fish, the fins and the color. Then we have Poco. That's the store pet. That's my yellow nape Amazon. He was 25 years old in July.
Wow.
He's got about 40-50 word vocabulary. Yeah, you.
How do you get him to talk?
When he wants to talk. It's sometimes in the mornings or evening when he runs the vacuum cleaner. Depends on his mood. Nice. He can be a character sometimes. But not like when there's a ton of people. He gets a little shy, I guess.
Okay.
But there's one wall of a lot of cichlids on this side, Malawians, Tanganyikans, some Victorians here and there.
This wall is really impressive. Like you just
it's about 100 tanks. I actually I fit a lot in this wall.
Yeah, you've like just used the space perfectly. So
I've known, you can talk to my mom about that, how I somehow would squeeze a tank in the basement when I was not supposed to set any more tanks up. I'm like, Mom, there's one more spot right here I could put a stand and 2 tanks on. And I'd sneak tanks home. I should be at church or something, and she wouldn't realize for like a few weeks later, like, you set up another tank?
I think a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah, or addicted. It's a good hobby. Probably kept me out of trouble more than once. Lots of rainbows. Got some cory cats. I love the cories. Angels. There's some deals like $2 a piece on those small cardinal tetras. Good stuff. Substrates. Got all the plant gravel and regular cichlid gravels and etc.
Very cool.
Lots of fry. We, as you know, we've done the videos before in the hatchery, so we breed a lot of fry, a lot of cichlids, so a lot of the young come from us. Some of the adults, and then I ship in also, obviously, keep up with demand.
I feel like we're missing all these nice fish, but it's like 100 tanks. You can't hit every single tank. It would take a long time to fill them all, but very cool.
All right, let's go into H1. Couple more tanks as usual. Odds and ends, some adult males, show males, needing females. Then I got some lamps in the middle. Lamprigoras like Fishardi's and multifasciatus and Shelleys, which have been a big hit lately. Can't breed enough. And I did see, it was amazing. I was in Tanganyika last month and diving. You were having to go like 50 feet or more to see like shell dwellers. I was astounded.
A lot of really cool fish in here.
Sorry for the dirty tanks.
When you have this many tanks, they can't all...
Yeah, I have over 500 tanks and over 35,000 gallons running. So yeah, and I have 2 guys and another guy, newer guy, so almost need one more person just to get on board for the busy season. In the winter it gets busy because people are indoors and they pay attention to their tanks more. So, like this one. We call that B2. The old one I call Bertha. There's a Bulgachromis microlepsis or the emperor cichlid. It's from Lake Tanganyika. They get up to about 40 inches and 30 pounds. I did see him about 2 foot, maybe not too much bigger than that. I did see him on my dive, so that was a highlight for me. That Cedonis cat, Thalamus, that thing's like over 25 years old. I guess I should feed her. She's begging, so I'm a sucker, like a dog. Like my boxer at home. Once in a while, like 3 times a week, I give it night crawlers. Missed one. Looking at me.
Right.
A little bit of everything. Some wild Tanganyikas, there's peacocks, Nagaras, Lawandas, some wild pubescents, there's some Papilli regani down there that are really nice. I seen that, I dove Papilli the last dive I did, and I only seen one in the wild. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was bigger than what I have in my tank. It was a good sized one.
Yeah, there's always some, it's like everywhere you turn in here you can see something cool.
These guys haven't bred yet. Trigalochromis astagma. If I said that right, I don't know. I need to practice that one.
We'll show them it's written on here.
They're a deep water. I didn't see those on the dive, but they're like a deep water mud pit, like holes, whatever, and that's why I put those pipes in there. See if I can instigate them to spawn.
Very cool. Let's see if we can get some of these guys.
I call the red passion peacocks.
Oh, okay.
Young ones, but they're beautiful color in those things.
Very cool. Just tanks on tanks on tanks.
Trophies to Hawaii, Mazwas, which are almost extinct, pretty much extinct in the wild now, unfortunately. Overfished.
Alright, let's go check out
H2.
H2.
These are Zaire Katoomba, Fritosas. I had them the other side, most of the Fritosas the other side, which I call H2. But I had an incident earlier this year. Elderly lady decided to drive through the storefront. So it made a big mess and had to move a lot of things around and a little crazy. Here's some Central Americans, a couple South Americans beating each other up. It's nature of the beast. I just threw the Feste in there and he's gonna have to come back out. I pulled the trio of a male Poco and 2 females. Sorry, that's a blower in the background, the noise. These are Argentes and some Honduran red points. I like the fish, but they're a little bit more challenging because their host species is definitely aggressive. This is what I call H2. There's a lot of Pertosas and then other things. The wild Bucromis rhodesii, love that fish. They're breeding really well. I have a lot of variants and multi-groups. Wild F1, F2, I guess. Nangus, Zaires, Samazis, Icolas, Kagomas, Mazwas. Yeah, it's probably my favorite fish. It's been my favorite fish for a long time. I was lucky to see him on at least one dive in Tanganyika. That guy is...
Gotta get that guy.
He's so beautiful.
So, focus on him. Yeah, he's real nice.
Chalumba, that's a nice fish, that Mambuna. This one's a rare one. Diminochromis demediatus. Those are like sixth generation when I originally got them in Chicago years and years and years ago. Hopefully breed. These are Pindus. That's a rare fish. They're on the CITES list. They're on the CARES program. They're from a crater lake in Africa. And we do breed them. I've been breeding those things for at least 15, 16, 17 years. Icola frontosa group, breeders, and then Otter Point Jake. Where's a bushy nose there? These are the Zaire Kapampas. Dad is in the pipe. He comes out, he's gorgeous, long fins. And that's what I call stubby. He's a cute little character, oddball. It happens, and matter of fact, I actually seen a Petrochromis in the wild that was a stubby, and it was like fluorescent orange. I was the only one to see this thing on a dive, and I got video of it. I had to chase this thing down because it caught my eye. I'm like, it just stood out like a sore thumb, whatever, and it was he was like a stubby Petro. Samazis with a bunch of babies in the tank. The males hide in the pipe, a couple of females in the pipe. Icolas.
Really nice fins on those guys.
I know. He's getting in the mood, I think.
Yeah,
this is a cool fish.
Tanks back
Steve,
here.
check this out. If you get them on there, I can't believe that Sexmasias is in there. This is called a Gnathochromis permalaxularis, another deep water Tanganyikan fish in the mud, sand, I guess. Over 100 feet deep. You have to see those in the wild. I call them the Tanganyikan geophagus. Their mouth can these guys' mouth probably can expand at least 2 inches. It's like a vacuum cleaner. They're unique. They're odd. This is my third attempt to raise them and breed them. They get co-species aggressive. They'd be a little challenging. Those are gold sex fasciatus, another Tanganyikan egg layer. These are Burundis. That's old and true, but they're still nice. Some people get on this, you know, because it's on the internet or magazine. Whatever's new, whatever, but you know, some of the old stuff is just as nice as the new stuff.
Right.
I mean, we kind of neglect because it's been around for a long time. Still can't beat a Burundi Frontosa, and it's the least expensive of all the Frontosas.
Yeah.
So, but they're still nice. There's nothing wrong with the fish or having that fish, keeping the fish. You don't have to have a Zaire Frontosa.
Kind of tough
Those
to
are
see
wild
these
MOBAs.
guys. Yeah, they're awesome. I wish you gotta get a better light on this tank, man. I can't hardly see it.
Yeah, we've had to switch. We had shop lights and those, you know, fluorescents are going out, so I've been switching over. And these guys are shy. The wild fish tend to be more shy, tend to be more aggressive a lot of times.
Right.
Then you see babies in some of these tanks. There's a kagomas, 2 males right there. There's a female holding in there somewhere, probably hiding.
Cool.
Big bump on their head.
Yeah.
Another, these are babies from those breeders. So these are F1s, Kapampas, and they've actually started spawning. There's a female holding, but I don't know if she's holding anymore. He's getting pretty aggressive. Look at the blue in that fish. That color is just. Actually, his tube's down, trying to spawn now. He's roughing her up. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's Cichlid world. More kagomas. I always keep, these came from those guys. I always keep backup fish in case something happens. It all happens to us sooner or later.
Somebody crashes into the building.
Yeah, someone crashes in the building. But, you know, things happen, so I always try to keep some of the first fry and raise them up, so if something happens, I have a backup group. Then there's Patachomas Geertzai, male and female. I was with Martin Geertzai, who's named after that. The fish is named after in Tanganyika. It's a Malawian cichlid, but it was cool. The old guy, he's like 77 years old. What a trooper.
Wow.
There's another Katoomba. And then Christy Eyes. Where's the big male? I don't know. Oh, there he is.
I was gonna say he's right there.
He's looking a little dull. Not in his breeding dress, I guess. More babies. Another Chalumba male that had to come out because obviously 2 males in the same tank. A few more tanks. This is the other storefront next door. I own the building, so that's the luxury. I get to do whatever I want. So obviously I need more room for more tanks, and here we are. This is one of my display tanks, my own personal. That's my big arowana, some different types of dollars, red hooks and black belts. Then there's a black wolf there.
Very cool.
Then a mishmash, some Central Americans, gold jaguars, managuents, some extra pindus, there's some extra julies. So sometimes we get stuff we don't have enough room, or we have somebody that's a troublemaker, we have to separate them. Sometimes they come over here and get isolated in their own tank. Morii blue dolphins, Carticaras, they're Malawian. Yeah, I got a couple of those guys. Some people know the flower horns. Get them on occasion. There's definitely a following for those.
Oh yeah, it's
They're fun.
controversy.
Yeah, that's a very controversial fish. They are. I kept one. I tried one out in my home tank in my living room, and he was a character. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he was interesting. He had a lot of personality, and he was a pretty fish. Somebody ended up giving me quite a bit of money for him, so I'm like, okay. Some of more of my fish, my pair of stingrays. Another one's hiding there. Female and there's male, and then vulture cat. Pair of red point Hondurans with fry in this tank, tying up this whole tank. I had a bunch in there, and obviously that didn't last long, so I had to move out the other ones. So pretty fish, they breed easy. If you can't breed any of the Arccentrus convict family, red points, I don't know if you should be in the hobby. That's the easiest. She's mean. This is a female Goldovii with a major attitude. I originally had the wild pair. Bred them a few times, sold lots of babies. Eventually the male killed the female, high in domestic violence, and I kept one baby, ended up being her. And she sometimes lays eggs. She looks like she's clearing the spot. They won't be fertilized. But when she has eggs in there, oh man, she is even meaner. The teeth hit the glass, and so this is a red wolf. I caught a bunch of these when I was in South America years ago. He's goofy because it's been a year and a half, 2 years. He actually jumped out. I had the tank half filled doing water changes and hit the floor. So he's got a screw loose, but he's fine. He eats. He will bite you. Eats worms, pellet food, but he's his equilibrium's off. A Fahaka puffer, which are a freshwater puffer, mean. Another tig cat. Feed me, feed me, feed me. That's a Tigris, rare zebra shovel-nosed cat from South America. He is for sale. There's a black diamond ram piranha. He's about 15 years old.
Very cool.
Got a tube tank with some butterfly koi left over for the pond season.
Right.
Actually, we'll swim there and you go swim through. Almost.
So, do you want to try and go hit the other building?
We'll go to H3.
Hatchery, yeah.
The next building, we'll have to drive. It's about a mile away. That's where we raise more fish, breed more fish, keep more fish. That's probably my favorite fish room because it's the newest and it's all like industrial pallet racking. There's some big grow out tanks like a 450, 375, and there's some nice fish. And I got some stud males over there that will be pretty impressive.
All right, so let's go check that out.
Sounds good. Welcome to, I call it H3, it's my other building, where you raise more fish, more cichlids. Anyway, it gets addicted, knows you never have enough tanks. And we do this to raise more of the fry, grow out some bigger stuff, or when I ship in large volume, I have somewhere like a holding facility almost. And potentially, I wasn't really planning on breeding fish here, but it's you'll see there's fry behind me and stuff just starts breeding, and next thing you know I'm working on trying to figure out where I can put some small tanks for more fry because it's just happening and can't let them go. So this is a 375 grow out. It's got some Samazi Frentosas and some Mbunas, Greberis, and red top and Benjis, and Xerox, ACIs, Azuris, Capatochromis, some peacocks, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Open tank, there's some Nangu Prentosas, future breeding colony, and then some albino Aurora, and Red Empress, Capatochromis, the Benji.
These are all 125s on the bottom?
Yeah, 125s on the bottom. There's some 40 breeders, and then it goes into some 10 gallons. There's 120 in the end. Like I was just telling the other guy that was here a little bit ago, I had to upgrade my blower. I had a 1.8. It wasn't strong enough to pump deeper tanks. This is a Tetracanthus, or the Cuban cichlid. He's a male. Unfortunately, he killed his mate about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Shame on him. He's a beautiful fish.
Let's see if we can get him to move. There we go. Yeah, he's really cool.
Love that fish. Just I wish he'd be nicer. Some more Mbunas and a female Capressep. Sometimes I raise this stuff up and end up with females. Most people that come through the business, the store, or the service counts want the males, obviously, because of the color. So I end up with stray females here and there. It's a young breeding group of Burundi Frentosas. And I actually have another colony of Burundis at home. So I have 3 breeding colonies of Burundis at home.
Nice.
That's a younger version, the Belochromis microlepsis, Emperor Cichlid. And he doesn't play well with others either. Actually, a customer, client bought him, and I told him not to put him in his 210 gallon. It was great for a while. Then fish started missing, and then he would catch them hanging out of his mouth, and well, of course I adopted them back. Pier size, obviously tearing each other up in the on-dirt red points. Got some young peacocks down there. Rubescents and what they call the dragon bloods. Nice little
male deer. That one's coloring up really nice.
That's what we want. I wish I could raise them up quicker and have a lot more of these 2-inch, 3-inch young males. That one's coloring up.
Yep.
People like that color. Same here. You got a little Nagara already starting to color.
Now we got some really nice ones.
Chromis used to be Intermedius or Leathernops. They changed the name. I got a tank full of females over there. I'm gonna stud them out probably soon. That's an F1 Lalanda male. He's a show winner. My favorite peacocks. That one and the Nagara are probably my two favorites.
Can we move this light along with us?
Yeah. And some more babies, some yo-yo loaches. I put them in the tanks to help eat the snails. And I grow them up. You never see them big ones for sale. So I'll throw them in, just like I raise the cichlids up to bigger sizes, I'll throw them in some of the big tanks and raise them up to 3-4 inches. And of course I get more money for them. And I give them up to size because, you know, people need bigger fish with their bigger, you know, in a bigger tank with other larger cichlids. Slow size, that's probably my favorite, Mabuna. That's a male. It's black and blue, and the females stay that nice and orange. They're not overly aggressive. They don't get too big. Maybe about 3 inches. 4 inches would be big. That's an awesome. You can have those in a 30-gallon tank, a group of them. Here's a young stud, Lawanda. Future breeder, showfish, slash, whatever. I got a bunch of females behind me that I'm debating which male to throw up there to them.
Awesome. And in these tanks, are these just matin filters back there, or what's the deal?
Those are, a long time ago somebody built, they made like ABS. It's basically, it's a kind of same principle idea. They're gelled hose and there's AC70 sponges stacked in there, where you can put whatever. The one chamber was for like a heater, and he had to glue them in. Obviously the new version, the matted sponge filter, is very popular. I like these because it's more permanent. It's not taking up too much tank space. But the silicone, they do wear out eventually. But I've had them for years. Then some more young stuff, and then I don't know why I didn't fill that up. Sorry, new guy. Who's here? Jeez. That's a Grammodes and a female black nasty, and I had just got a young male for her. She lays eggs in there about every other month. They don't get fertilized, but by the other guy. That'd be a weird cross.
Right.
Two mean ass fish. These are Leolanthogonis cygnus.
I'm looking for them.
There's a breeding pair. Their parents are at the other building. They're probably hiding a pot. They're aggressive little Tanganyikan cichlid. They're pretty. They're not like, you know, fancy with color, but the fins, the male can get like a little bit of a knot on his head as he matures. Oh, there he is. Hide in the barnacle. I sold most of them, and I think this one was pairing off in the bigger tank, so I pulled them. So I have another breeding pair. Yeah, some more grow-outs. Nangus, Greberai. I ended up losing my wild male Greberai. He killed the wild females, so I bred them with take race females, and it was a great strain. The males get the nice golden head with the
lilac or purple body. They're Homelange Breberi or something. They've changed the name, but they're pretty. They're not usually overly aggressive, but I'm raising some up for my next breeding group. Here's a nice fish, mean.
Okay.
That's a Grimode. It's kind of dirty, sorry. Very aggressive. They don't get as big as like the Dobie and some of the other guys.
He's really cool looking.
Detail, yeah. It's a pair. There's a female back there. I couldn't get. I tried keeping him in a 75 over here, and he beat the living snot out of her. So, like, they had to be separated. Their own rooms.
Let's go over here because it's a little dark on this side. So this wall is more 125s
More
all the way down.
125s, 30-gallon breeders on my top, and then right here is a 5 gallons and a 40 breeder, something plumbing underneath, so I had to improvise that.
And then this rack in the middle is all 75s?
These are almost all 75s. There's a couple 55s squeezed in, and then 30-gallon breeders, and what they call the 45-gallon frag tank. They're 48 by 18 by 12. So again, I utilized every bit I could on these particular racks I was able to buy, and then there's like 133 long in the at the end on top.
Okay.
But live fry, young stuff, Otter Point Jake, and some Okies, Shuri and Lingatas. I sold most of them. There's just a couple extras. More slow side babies up there. Those they call the Hongai Sweden. I'm raising up those for breeding. They're pretty. A little bit of chroma species. Then some Borlei, Parachromis, Cadengos, Taiwan Reefs, and Buchromis spectabilis. Young male right there. I'm hoping those are females, and like that Rhodesii, I'll have these breeding in the near future.
Very cool. I feel like we're missing all this stuff behind us. These are just grow outs and
Some of it's grow outs, a lot of babies, ACIs. There's some of my baby Burundis and peacocks. More peacocks. I got most of the baby peacocks in this general area. Then some Taiwan Reef and Borlei, oddballs, extra females, or I have no males. Labotrophius travasae, marmalade cats.
it's just tanks on tanks on tanks.
Yeah. Champichromis alaris, the trout cichlids. They're awesome. They get decent size. They can be on the aggressive side. And then I have Phascochromis rostratus, the sand diver. I have many of those. I like that fish, especially like the one in the wall tank at the other shop. That blue, green, black. It's an impressive fish. They get to be decent size. Then you see more of our baby red empress up here. More babies, Hongai or red top, Labitochromis, Bombas. Then you got the Strigatus. Then we got baby Borlei in the container here, which need a tank soon.
It's very cool, man.
A young trio. Look at the color of that male. They're from the same spawn. Look how big he is to the two little females. He like, I might put those females in that 450 to get him up to his size. There's a bunch of Veil Angels and a bunch of Bushy Nose Plecos I bought from a dealer, vendor, and it just had not enough room at the store to put them all there, so this would be the overstock. Oh yeah, more
No,
fish.
it's just this is all
More babies.
all fish all the time, everywhere. It's awesome. Like
Fish gone crazy.
Kid in the candy store.
Xchromis jennies, that's a great fish. Don't see them too much anymore. They're kind of semi making a comeback. I brought them years ago, and now I'm up to there's babies. They're breeding. So some fry.
Cute little buggers. They don't look like the parents right now, but down the road. Another breeding group. That's parents of those slow size. One male, a bunch of females. And with OCA, I got people that's got females, so I'm hopefully going to end up with a bunch more females. This is a 450 gallon, which we just pulled the fry out. That's going to end up a whole new batch of young to grow out.
So
Usually 4 to 6 months, we'll put stuff in here.
It's just empty right now.
It's empty. There's one angel in there I threw in there just for the fun of it. A couple bushy-nosed plecos.
Very cool, man. Well, I'm glad we were able to get over this side,
Thanks for stopping.
this one, and yeah, thanks as always for the tour. I guess until next year, we'll see you see you later.
I'll try to do something different. Next year there might be 2 big tanks right here, 500 gallons.
That'd be
hopefully.
cool. All right.
So that'd be a new addition. I try every year, trying to up it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Top yourself.
Right.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
No problem.